Hello guys, my name is Jackie and today I'm here with a completely new video for me. So I recently started watching TBR games. My favorites are Becca's Bookopoly, where she chooses Monopoly to pick her TBR, and Cody's Wheel of TBR, where she has a wheel with a lot of prompts on there and picks her TBR with that. And there are a couple of other games and ideas on the internet, but those are the ones I actually watch. I will link both their latest videos down below. And yeah, I wanted to do that for myself too, but I don't have the room for a wheel and I didn't want to make a Monopoly board. I wanted something easy, something I could quickly make, and in the end I decided to go for bingo. So this is my TBR bingo board, and yeah, there are a couple of other people who also do TBR bingos, but I'm not really watching them. So yeah, but if you put TBR bingo in the search bar, you will find a lot of them. Alright, so I wanted to make this as easy as possible for myself. So I have these columns are A to E and these are 1 to 5. And I've got in here, I've got some wooden pearls where I put things on like D3 or A1. So I have 24 beads in here for the 24 prompts on here. The only one that doesn't have a bead is the joker in the middle. And I will explain it a little bit why that's the case. So I thought about how many I'm going to pick, and at the beginning I wanted to pick until I got a bingo, but the first time I tried this I think I ended up with 15 books or even more on my TBR, and that's just not happening. So I'm going with 6, which means I probably will be able to read more than that, but all in all it's a reasonable TBR for me to have. So for my prompt I picked 24 that I want to have on here for the beginning, because I somehow managed to be in the middle of 6 books at the moment. But I really wanted to start this game, so in addition to the 6 books I have at the moment, and I only have tomorrow to finish something of that, then it's November at the moment while I'm filming this. So I wanted to make it really easy for me. Although there are a couple of books I definitely want to read in November, so I picked the prompts that will most likely give me the chance to read whatever I want. But I have a couple more. I've got a couple more here, and next month I'm going to change up the prompts that I used this month and put some new ones on there. If I get a bingo, I can exchange one of the books from my TBR throughout the month and still count it for whatever I want to read. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to fit the prompt, I can exchange it. And if I manage to read all the 6 books I chose for the month, I can exchange the last prompt I finished for another joker. So now for the joker. There are a lot of possibilities for the joker. One would be that I don't have to read anything for it and it still counts as a bingo, but actually I found that a bit boring. So an idea I had was that I could read whatever I want to read for this prompt, but it would mean a 7th book, so that's not really a joker. And also I already have here 3 choice, so that's already one I can choose whatever I want. So instead I decided that I just have to read something for it. It doesn't have to be a book, it can be a fan fiction, for example, because I really love reading fan fiction. Or it could be a short story in a book, or it could even just be the first chapter of a book. It doesn't matter, as long as I read a little bit. This counts. Which will only help me if I'm actually getting a bingo. So yeah, and that would be the same. I just started, and I'll explain the prompts when we get to them. So I've got my mug with my beads in here. Let's see, what do we get? We've got E5. I don't know if you could see that. E5 is a book with dragons. So, alright. I probably shouldn't have picked my prompt to read a book with dragons, because I can't think of a single one at the moment that I want to... Oh, wait, yes. Rainbow Rowell's Wayward Son. This is the second book, this is the sequel to Carry On, which I adored. So, Carry On is a fantasy book that's a lot like a fanfiction actually. Because Carry On we were first introduced to Carry On in her book Fangirl, where there's this girl who's a big fan of a book series called Simon Snow, which is loosely based on Harry Potter. And she writes fanfiction for this, and her fanfiction is called Carry On Simon. And Rainbow Rowell, after the book was released, decided to write her own take of the story, and so Carry On was born. And now, a couple of years later, she decided to make it a trilogy. So we got the second book, which is Wayward Son, and yeah, I really can't wait for it. It's so amazing. Secondly is E1. So, E1 is fantasy. Perfect, because it just means I can pick whatever I want as long as it's a fantasy book. So, for that I'm going to go with The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, because I want to reread the series for the release of The Queen of Nothing, which is in November. It's about three sisters who get taken into the land of fairies, and it follows one of the younger sisters, one of the twins. Her name is Jude, and she wants to be a part of this world. She wants to be a part of the court of fairy, but she's human. She's completely human. That's my second pick. Now to the third. Let's see, what did we get? We have A5. So A5 is a sequel. So, perfect. I'll just pick Wicked King by Holly Black, which is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. Number 4 is A1. We've got it a bit with the 1s and 5s, I think. So A1 is TBR. So that's the most unpredictable thing I have on here, and the one I'm the most scared of, because I've got these books I want to read next month. But here's my TBR jar. I think I put most of the books I own I haven't read in here, so yeah, let's hope I pick something good. Let's just... Alright, so what do we get? So, and the book I've got is... Can you read this? Probably not. It's History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. So, I've only ever read one book by Adam Silvera, and that's the one he co-wrote with Becky Albertelli, and I really loved it. So, I'll just read the synopsis. Griffin has lost his first love in a drowning accident. Theo was his best friend, his ex-boyfriend, and the one he believed he would end up with. Now, reeling from grief and worsening OCD, Griffin turns to an unexpected person for help, Theo's new boyfriend. But as their relationship becomes increasingly complicated, dangerous truths begin to surface. Griffin must make a choice, confront the past or miss out on his future. It sounds really intriguing, and it's not too big, so yeah. So we're down to the last two, and I think it's really funny that I got the 4 corners. Let's see. So the next one we have is B2. And B2 is with a person on the cover. So for that I'm going with a book I really can't wait to start, and that's Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is about the first son and the Crown Prince of England. And the two of them really don't like each other, but for US-British relations they have to, I think, fake a friendship, and in the course of that they fall in love. It sounds really amazing. I'm down for this kind of story at the moment, absolutely. So, and the last pick is, can you see it? D2. And D2 is short stories. Damn. I think I've only got one short story collection, and that's a really big one. Alright, so I was mostly right. I could have picked the Percy Jackson retellings of the myths, but I really wasn't feeling like reading that, so I'm going to read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. It's a short story collection set in the world of City of Bones and the Mortal Instruments and all that. And it follows mostly Simon Lewis, I think. I don't really know much about the stories, so I've got 10 short stories and there's a really massive bind-up, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. Alright, so those are the books I should read in November, but I'm part of a book club. At least I'm still at the moment. I have to quit because I just can't fit it in my schedule. But we have one last meeting and I still need to read those two for this meeting, which is at the beginning of November. So those are 8 books, and those are all the books I am in the middle of at the moment. I really have no idea how that happened, and I really hope that I'll manage to finish one of them until tomorrow evening, so that I have a little bit less to do in November. But yeah, so that's a lot, and I actually plan to participate in NaNoWriMo, which maybe I should quit if I really want to read all of this. And it's really I shouldn't have started this month. It's really stupid. I should have just waited for the new year. But, well, what do you want to do? So, I'm going to try and finish all of these in November and see how it goes. So, yeah. What I did not make was some kind of punishment for not finishing all of the books, just because I didn't do this to read more books. I actually want to step back from this a little bit because it's stressing me out. I just did it so that I maybe pick some books that have been on my shelf for way too long, which of course wasn't what I did today, because they're by this books I really wanted to read, and I hoped I could fit everything in here, and it worked, so that's great. Yeah. If you have any ideas for prompts I could include, let me know down in the comments. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!